Hey everybody, this is Austin with the Art of War Made Easy, and today I'm going to talk about the alpha male and explain in terms of the art of war what I think that it is and what it is not. Okay, so, and I want to start off by saying, for the most part, I think that everything that's out there that you've seen so far has been basically a bunch of BS as far as the definition of an alpha male. However, I do think that everything that's out there about alpha male is very useful. Okay, and shout out to Alpha Male Strategies, my man. You know, I check out his stuff; it's good, especially for the guy that wants to be pretty firm and not get his heart bounced around a lot. You know, and doesn't want to make himself vulnerable. However, I do think there's a disadvantage to that. You might not experience all of life's pleasures, but that's another story. Like I said, I'm not trying to take away from anybody who's done on this subject, because everything I've seen on that subject is useful. However, I do think that everybody has a definition wrong. So I'm going to start off by saying that the art of war, if I think about that and the definition of alpha male from Wikipedia, is just like a gorilla or a wolf that establishes power in the group by social means and also physical power and strength. All right, now human beings used to be like that too back in the caveman days, you know, and so, but now we're civilized, right? So by becoming civilized, we've shed that, you know, you got to fight to get what you want. That's over, you know, unless you're getting paid in a ring and it's still legal and pay taxes on it and all of that. I mean, that's useless for the most part, right? And yet that's all in the art of war, but that's why we have to convert it, because strategy is in all things, and those are the principles of strategy. They were just given to us in the most primitive format, which I think is the best way to start with it. You know, so then by converting that to today's means, we see that it's leverage. Like, who has leverage in a situation socially, right? In a social group, right? So that could be a company, that could be a family, that could be a football team, that could be an army, that can be a country, you know, can it be a planet? It could be a planet, maybe, I don't know, that's like one world. But anyway, so I've heard stuff, you know, all kind of stuff, and I want to say that I'm going to start off by saying what it is not necessarily by saying what it can be, right? Because like the art of war, which comes from Taoism, paradox is to learn by missing information, right? So I'm going to teach you some of the things what it is not necessarily have to be by telling you what it can be, okay? So an alpha male can be fat, yes, he can, or she. There can be alpha females too. Alpha male is, he can be short, he can be bald, you know, he can be nerdy looking, you know. Alpha male can have no swag at all, you know. Alpha male can never, you know, might never go to the gym and can still be an alpha male, right? I know some of you are like, what? How is that possible, man? You got this Hollywood image that everybody's been painting, you know, because the person that's like this is going to say, well, you should be like me. I'm an alpha male, and this is what alpha males do, you know, it's a swagger lifestyle. Or the other one will say, no, it's about success and how much money you made, and can you get out there and be ambitious and change the world, and everybody's looking up to you, and that's an alpha male, and all these different definitions, like which one, you know. But that's the term that we've taken from the animal group and tried to apply it to us, just, you know, and that's cool, you know. But the principle of alpha male still remains the person that has the leverage with the social group, right? That's all it means. So what gives a person leverage in a group? Well, that depends, you know. But for the most part, it's knowledge, right? Knowledge of what the person knows, right? Even if you have a lot of money and the situation requires that the people have money and you got this money and that's leverage, but without knowledge, they're just going to take it from you, right? So that's not beneficial and that's not advantageous. The art of war is about advantage, the art of advantage. It's the same thing. Advantage in bad conflict situations or whatever, struggles, right? So Leverage can be a nerd who knows more about the computer programming to get a social website all the way there, or update it or make it better or whatever. Leverage can be the mechanic who walks into a shop and he's on such a higher level. He helps them, tells them, hey man, if y'all do this and do this, and then you do that and blah blah blah. He doesn't have to come in all, hey man, y'all might be all cocky. He could be like just by giving that advice, brave enough to say it, knows how to communicate. That's the art of war. The brave can fight, the intelligent can communicate, the careful can guard. If somebody's being deceptive, he can guard himself by not releasing certain information, or give out false information, which is dead spies, if it's in some type of political situation. So it's the person with the knowledge of a situation that's brave enough to speak about it, can communicate it effectively, and that's the leverage, right? In a company, in corporate, they don't care if you fat or short or they don't. And if you got a lot of swag and all that, that's not going to help you. What they concerned about is the bottom line, profits, numbers. So what brings in that? The knowledge. The person that's got the knowledge has the leverage, has the power, right? So that to me, I'm kind of summed it up. What an alpha male. What I think is the essence, and there's so many misleading, definitions about what it is, and I think that's what it is, and even though a lot of that stuff is very useful and can be a good map to being the type of person everybody wants to better themselves, but they're misleading insofar as the definition of what I think people are trying to say what is an alpha male, because you got to compare it to what they say it is with the animal group, because that's where it comes from, right? And in the animal group, once again, like I said, it means the person with the leverage, right? And in our case, it's like the physics, the politics, and the psychology. That's right. So I want to add on to where I talked about, alpha male can be fat, alpha male can be short, alpha male can be bald, alpha male can be nerd, and all of that, and yet, so you might ask, well, can he be those things that are the opposite of that, and that be the why he's an alpha male? Oh yeah, that's why I said in the beginning, it depends, right? It depends on what gives you the leverage, and in every case, what gives you the leverage is the knowledge of that leverage, right? So yeah, if swag is gonna determine who's the winner, then obviously the one with the most swag is going to win. And there are situations like that, or looks. You got, the model. You model, and then how you look is the most important thing. Now if you go to the club, okay, now we're talking. That's a social scene. That's a social setting. And then a lot of the winners for the night at the club, who people will call winners, are guys with the swag, girls with the swag. Right? So that's why I say it depends. And then the person has that swag is because they have a knowledge of swag and how to bring it. They got a strategy, right? And so in that case, yeah, that's first. Okay, and so that applies to all other things too. In a place where it's cooler to be tall, then if you're short, you probably shouldn't even be there anyway. If it's a place where, people need to show off their hair and stuff, and you go and you bald, then maybe you should have wore a wig or a toupee or extensions or something, So, but yeah, I'm trying to make my point that it's all relative. All the art of war strategy and this whole idea about alpha male is relative to where the leverage lies. And having leverage is a matter of having the knowledge. So I'm Austin with the Art of War Made Easy. I hope this helps. I might have more and explain more on this. I just wanted to touch on that because it's a popular subject, and I want to throw my 2 cents in there and see what you think. All right, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, The Art of War Made Easy.